My name is Chris, and in this video I'm going to give you 8 considerations for booking your next Orlando trip. And in this video as well I'm going to give you my top tip to help you save hundreds. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Chris. As I've just said, I run an Instagram and YouTube account called STEELEINTHEPARKS, and I've been doing this for a little bit of time now. Now obviously I am a new creator, we've all got to start somewhere, but if you're wondering why I should take advice off this guy who is just popped up on my feed as a new creator, well, I've been going to Orlando for decades. I've been going since the 90s. I've recently just come back from Orlando. I've been on 4 trips in the last 2 years, so I'm quite up to date with current pricing, things to do, what's happening in Orlando. And a little interesting fact about me, I used to work in travel. So I'm a former travel advisor. I got out of travel because just things happen in life, but I'm quite experienced when it comes to booking holidays for people, for myself. And as I was saying, I've been to Orlando many times. So stick around and I'll give you my 8 considerations and my top tip, and you'll thank me after this video once you realise just how easy it is to save money. Now, my first consideration, and it might seem obvious, but you've really got to factor this in. You've got to factor in, what do you want to do when you're there? Do you want to do Disney? Do you want to do Universal? Do you want to do both? Do you want to do excursions? Do you want to go to Kennedy Space Center? Do you want to go to a soccer game, an NBA game? Do you want to go to Discovery Cove? You just got to weigh up what the main base of your holiday is before you book it. The reason I'm saying that is because this runs into my second consideration, and that basically revolves around your location. Where are you going to stay? Now, if you've decided you mainly just want to do Disney, factor in, do you stay on site at Disney? You've got budget options such as All Star Movies and All Star Music. You've got Pop Century. You've got moderate options such as Port Orleans French Quarter, which is where I'm staying next year. You've got Caribbean Beach. You've got Coronado Springs. And you've got the deluxe hotels if you want to splash the cash, such as Grand Floridian. You've got the Contemporary, the Polynesian. You've got, there's so many, there's Riviera, Wilderness Lodge, etc. So that's why I'm saying in terms of on the Disney side, so if you want to do all that, you can either stay on site at Disney or factor in staying somewhere like Lake Buena Vista, Kissimmee. So Kissimmee, you've got all the villas, you've got various hotels, and then Lake Buena Vista, you're very close to Disney. So you'll save money in factoring in Uber and Lyft costs. You've got to factor in some hotels probably offer a shuttle to Disney. Check with your hotel before you do that. And you don't want to be miles and miles away if you're just doing Disney. And it's the same thing for Universal. So if you're staying just Universal, you don't want to be staying up near Disney, because then it's going to cost you a fortune every day in transport, unless you're hiring a car, which I'll go into at a later stage in this video. So if you're staying at Universal, I would recommend staying in an International Drive, such as a hotel I really recommend, because I've stayed there 4 times now, and that is Endless Summer Dockside, or you've got Surfside. The reason I recommend them hotels is because you get the free shuttle to Universal. Another one to consider is hotels such as the Rosen Inn International. You've got the Rosen Inn at Point. You've got the Sheraton. You've got all these various hotels on International Drive, and you don't want to be, as I was saying, miles away from Universal if you're staying at Universal, because it just doesn't make any sense. And if you want to do both Disney and Universal, try and pick a middle location, I would say. Again, that's where International Drive comes in. We stayed on International Drive at Endless Summer Dockside on our last 4 trips, and we did Disney as well. Now, it costs around about, I would like to say about $15 to $20 to get a Uber or Lyft up to Disney from where we were, which isn't too bad. And you can also stay like a little bit higher up at National Drive, like towards SeaWorld. That's also a good location, but you don't want to be miles and miles and miles away from one or the other. If you can try and pick a middle location, that's what I would highly recommend. And it's just looking at the locations on the maps, factoring in costs, how much it's going to cost you to get from A to B, and it just causes a major kind of downward side if you find that you're spending $30-40 per day to get to one or the other of the parks. You can't hire a car, as I was saying. Again, you've got to factor in, is it convenient for me to hire a car in regards to that? But again, I'll go through that with you in a little. Now, my third thing to consider when you're booking is weigh up your booking options. Don't think that you've got to book a package. So a lot of people might go on the Virgin Holidays website and book a package by them, or the TUI website. It can be convenient if you're a bit of a nervous booker. If you feel like you need somebody to guide you through it, they are great for that. But I would seriously recommend pricing up separately. The reason being because if you price up separately, it normally works out quite a bit cheaper because you're not paying for the fact it's packaged. I would recommend as well looking on booking.com, because booking.com has some great options. It also helps you in regards to my point later, which will save you hundreds, which I'll get to near the end of this video. But it all links in with that. And another one to consider, and I'm saying this because we're doing this in May, is have a look at Airbnb. So we've booked a really nice looking apartment in our May trip, which is near Disney Springs, which hasn't cost that much money. We've paid, I think it was around about £950 for 10 nights for a luxury apartment with a big kitchen, fantastic location. It's actually got a balcony, little things like that. And seriously, have a look in there because it's a fantastic option. And Booking.com, that's a really good one. I would just factor in, do you want everything packaged together for you to save the hassle? But it's not a hassle. It's not a hassle at all. It's really easy to do to book separately. So seriously consider. Now, my point 4 and my point 5 for considerations kind of tie into one another, but they are kind of separate in a way. So the first one I want to point out in my fourth factor is you've got to weigh up how much each hotel costs for resort fees and parking. Now, some hotels which might look cheap on paper end up costing quite a bit more money if you don't look at how much they charge for resort fees. They are quite sneaky, some of them. Now, I do know that the Rosens don't charge a resort fee, or they don't as a film in this video, but what they do charge now is parking. That's another thing to consider, and this ties into my point 5 about car hire as well. You've got to factor in, does the hotel charge for parking? A lot of them do now. Some of them don't. You might get lucky and some might offer free parking. You've really got to shop around. But yeah, keep an eye on the resort fees. Keep an eye on the parking. And just be very, very careful and vigilant. Check the reviews, because some hotels might not disclose how much to charge for a resort fee, but people in the comments might have put it on TripAdvisor. And that ties into my point 5 as well about car hire. You've got to really factor in, is car hire worth it for me? Now, from my point of view, car hire is not worth it at all. The reason being because we tend to just go to Disney or Universal, and the hotels that we've stayed at have charged for parking. I know Endless Summer Dockside charged around about $33 a day for parking, if I remember off the top of my head. It just weighs up factoring in how much is that going to cost me over the long run. Also factoring in cost of fuel, cost of the parking at the theme parks as well. Now, Disney and Universal charge you for parking, which kind of factors in to, is the car hire worth it? In my opinion, car hire is only worth it if, first of all, you're staying in a villa, because ideally you need a car, otherwise you'll be getting an Uber or Lyft anywhere. In my point with that in regards to, if you want to go out for a meal, if you're staying on International Drive on either 192, which is your Disney end and your Universal end, they all have restaurants and bars and shops, so it's very easy to go and get a meal. Whereas if you're staying in a villa, they tend to be in an enclosed area, so there's not shops and restaurants about, so you've got to get a car. And I always find Uber and Lyft are pretty cheap. I don't think they're expensive at all. Now, my advice I would be for Uber and Lyft is price up the journey that you want to do on both apps, because one sometimes comes in considerably cheaper than the other one. It can be, there's no real consistency with it. One day it could be Uber, one day it could be Lyft. I would seriously recommend using Ubers and Lyfts as opposed to car hire. But let me know in the comments if you find it the other way around, if you think it's cheaper to hire a car. I understand the appeal with it, because if you want to go to places like Kennedy Space Centre, if you want to go to Cocoa Beach, if you want to go down to Tampa, places like that, then car hire probably is worth it, because it means that you get to see a little bit of Orlando. Just to lead on to my point in regards to the car hire as well, we've priced up car hire for our May trip, and it works out at £547 for our 10-night stay with a SUV. We factored in the cost, and it really wouldn't be worth it for us, because we've picked a good location, being in the apartment that we're staying at. We're near Disney Springs, we're near Vineland outlets, so it just didn't make sense for us to get a car. But yeah, seriously, weigh up the options, and that kind of leads into my first point in terms of what holiday are you wanting to do. Right? If you're wanting to do a holiday where you do explore Orlando, then albeit go for car hire. It's just my opinion. But in my opinion, stick with Ubers and Lyfts. Point 6, my sixth consideration. It's a bit of a minefield, this one. So do your research on this one. But I'm going to guide you through kind of our September trip plan. In September, we're staying on site at Disney. Now, we're only doing Disney in September. So again, this factors into my point 1 and 2. Because we're only doing Disney, we're staying on site. It's our first ever on-site Disney stay, and I cannot wait. But we are staying at Port Orleans French Quarter, which is an unreal location. Now, this is why I'm saying consider other options in regards to this. Now, with this time around, we are doing the Disney dining plan. We're doing the quick serve dining plan. We weighed up how much we spend on food and drink on a trip. And then we weighed up the cost of it, and we weighed up the cost of what we've spent on the diner plan. Now, I'm pretty confident the diner plan is going to be worth it for us, because we don't really tend to go out for many meals. We tend to do a lot of quick serve stuff, food on the go. Now, we have paid for 11 nights in September. Bear in mind, this includes the quick serve diner plan, park tickets and hotel stay, £2,048 each. It's a really nice hotel as well, French Quarter. Now, in the dining plan, and this is why I'm saying it's worth considering it, you get 2 quick serve meals, a snack, a drink with each meal, whether it's alcoholic or non-alcoholic. You can pick whatever drink you want, cocktails if you want, and you get a refillable mug. Now, for me, that is really worth it, because you'll save a fortune straight away with the refillable mug. And that's why I'm saying in regards to weigh things up like this. Again, with Universal, on the Universal side, you've got to weigh up, do I want to do the express pass in the parks where you get the fast entry onto the rides? Now, if you do want to do that, it's worth considering picking a hotel that offers it, such as the Hard Rock Hotel, Royal Pacific or Portofino Bay, because they include express package, or they do at the time of this filming. They might change it at some point. But if you're wanting to do the express pass, it's worth considering doing that. Now, another top tip in regards to saving money in food and drink, my advice would be, if you're in the parks, do not buy bottled water. Because in Disney, they give you it for free, whether it be in Starbucks or in the cups or anywhere like that. In Universal, you can use the freestyle Coca-Cola machines to fill your water bottle up. So you can save $5 per bottle of water. And in regards to Universal as well, I would strongly advise buying the daily refillable mug, because if you're going to be in the park all day, it costs around about £13, depending on the exchange rate, obviously, to refill your mug. And if you go and buy 1 bottle of Powerade or 1 bottle of Coke, you pay $5. So seriously consider doing that in regards to food and drink. Same with the dining plan, the refillable mug will save you a fortune. the food dining plan option is a really good value. That's why we've done it for this trip. I mean, again, it's opinion, but it can end up costing you quite a bit. And I treat this dining plan a little bit almost like an all-inclusive, where I'm not going to have too many snacks anyway, because you don't want to fill yourself up too much, because there's that many food options. You don't want to make yourself feel sick before going on the rides. So it is a seriously good thing to consider. But like I say, it's opinion. Now, my seventh thing to consider is your cash situation. I wouldn't recommend taking cash dollars, because not many places accept dollars now. You'll end up just finding ways of, how do I spend these dollars? Where can I spend them? My advice to you would be, get a card that doesn't charge fees, such as Monzo. Now, I use Monzo. I've used Monzo for years. It gives you the best exchange rate. It works out the best price. There's no fees. It doesn't cost you anything unless you go for the upgraded plan. So I've just got the free plan with Monzo. This isn't a paid promotion for Monzo. I just highly recommend using them. Dead straightforward. You just transfer your money over to the Monzo app. Another one to consider is Revolut. There is other ones out there, but they're the two main ones I know of, Monzo and Revolut. Don't take too much cash, because you're not going to use it. Not many places really accept cash. I know Disney's pretty much a cashless park now, same as Universal. You'll only use cash if you're wanting to tip, things like that, or if you're wanting to tip your maid and stuff in the room. But yeah, take out Monzo, take out Revolut, or any other card that doesn't charge fees. Just look into it, because if you use your normal debit card, if I was to use my NatWest card abroad, I will probably get charged for every time I use it. Just be careful with that. It's a seriously big thing to consider. Now, another thing to consider, and this is my 8th tip. Are you doing multiple trips in a year? If you want to go more than once in the year, which, if you've never been to Orlando before, and this is your first time, you will get the bug. I've just got to warn you now. Everyone gets the Orlando bug. And I don't mean food poison. I mean just addiction to going to Orlando. There's nothing like it. It's the best place on earth. And if you were someone that's been a couple of times and you just love it, again, this is something to consider. Don't know if you can see on camera. Annual passes. Now, we have used these passes 4 times in the last couple of years. We're really getting our money's worth out of these, because we've been on multiple trips. Now, what we did is we got a seasonal pass. The seasonal pass is the pass which it basically gets you access to the parks all year round. There is cut-off dates, so you just have to be careful that you're not going away when there's a cut-off date. And we've got one preferred pass. The reason we've got the preferred pass is because the preferred pass gives you free parking. It gives you discount of food and drink. I think it was 10%. And it also gives you benefits such as discount of on-site hotel stays, etc. The reason we did this pass is because we were planning on doing 2 trips. When we worked it out, we've saved about £200 by taking out the annual pass, because they do deals. Now, when we got these passes, there was a deal on where you got 15 months for the price of 12. That was direct through Universal. And the card didn't activate until we got there. So we picked the cards up, and that's when the 15-month kicked in. And it's worked out a lot cheaper. The money we've saved on food and drink as well. 10% might not seem much, but over the course of a 14-day trip, it can work out quite a bit less. Next year as well, in 2026, Epic Universe is also being added to the annual pass, so you will get the option to book Epic Universe on that pass, and that's going to save you a fortune. Disney, not so much. Like the Disney annual pass, you've really got to get like 3 or 4 trips in a year to get the most out of that. But yeah, seriously, if you're going to do Universal, do it. And you're going to do it a couple of times, seriously consider taking out the annual pass. It's one thing we've really get our most out of. As I was saying, we've been 4 times since 2023, and we really maximise those cards. Another little side tip I would say, in regards to this and regards to this whole video, take the advice of the self-help books that are out there. Now, again, this isn't a paid promotion. Adam hasn't gotten in touch with me and said, can you promote my book? But the one that we use is this one, the Dream Guide 2025-26 by Adam Hatton. There's all sorts in here. This will really, really help you out. Don't be afraid to take advantage of the self-help. It's really worth it. That book didn't cost too much money. I don't know if the price is on there. £12. £12, and it'll save you a fortune in terms of what to do, what to see, how to book, what to do, all this type of stuff. And that kind of ties in with like weighing up your options at the beginning as well. This book will help you with all that. Obviously, there is other books on the market. There's plenty of books out there. There's just the one that we've gone to because we watch his vlogs. We think he's really informative with what he does. Highly recommend it. Seriously though, consider that annual pass. Now, I promised you at the start of this video, I would give you a tip which will save you hundreds. It's dead easy to do. A lot of the regular Orlando goers know this trick now, but if you're new to booking Orlando, or if you've been living in some form of bubble, I'm going to help you out here. Get a Air Miles credit card. The one we use is the Virgin Atlantic one. Now, we buy everything with this card, whether it's booking a holiday, booking a trip away, filling my car with petrol, going to Tesco, going to Asda, doing your shopping, buying things online. This card will rack up Air Miles. It will really help you out when it comes to booking your next trip. Now, you don't have to do the Virgin Atlantic one. You can do the Avios one as well. If British Airways is your preferred airline of choice, get an Avios card. It's the same sort of thing. But for everything you buy, it racks up Air Miles. The more Air Miles you get, the cheaper your flights get. For example, we booked our trip last year for 7,500 Air Miles each going and the same returning. And all you do is you pay the taxes on your flight. So we ended up spending about £200 on the flights. That's probably about half the prices would be normally on your flight going, flight coming back. And it's dead easy to do. It's almost like free money. Again, this isn't a paid promotion by Virgin Atlantic. They haven't got in touch with me and said, can you promote our card? This is just my tip. Again, not just the Virgin Atlantic credit card though. You've got Virgin Red, which is a secondary app which it links to your flying club number in regards to your card. And if you purchase something online, go on the Virgin Red app and just check to see if what you're purchasing is on there. For example, I bought an iPhone a couple of years ago. In fact, it might have been last year. Apple had an offer on for every £1 you spent, you got 3 Air Miles. So I racked up around about 2,700 Air Miles just off buying an iPhone. eBay was on there, so if you're buying anything off eBay, you've got Booking.com. So yeah, Booking.com, as I was saying earlier, in regards to pricing up with it, is on there. So I think we've got about 1,000 Air Miles for booking our hotel through Booking.com. So that's another great feature when it comes to the Virgin credit card. Again, like with Avios, it's a similar sort of situation. But yeah, rack those Air Miles up. It will save you a fortune. And it doesn't cost you anything. There's different tiers. You get red, silver, gold. We're still red tier members because it is quite hard to get up to silver. But you can use those Air Miles to either pay for your flights or pay for an upgrade. So you can upgrade to premium, you can upgrade to upper class. And for every £20,000 per year you spend on your card, trust us, you will probably spend 20 grand over the space of a year. The cost of food and drink and that type of stuff this day and age. If you hit £20,000 spend, you get a companion reward seat voucher. So it's the equivalent, if you're a red tier member like me, it's the equivalent of 75,000 Air Miles. So you can factor in using that to pay for a flight going out there, or you can factor it in to upgrade your flight to premium or rubber. Seriously, get it done. It's dead easy to do. You only pay a fee if you miss your payment dates, but I just pay off everything as soon as I bought something on the card. So I'll go and fill my car up with fuel. It'll be £60. I'll pay it off straight away. It doesn't cost you anything when you pay it off quite quick. So yeah, get one of those. It'll save you hundreds. Right, so that's kind of it for this video in terms of, I've given you my 8 considerations. So consideration 1 is, what do you want to do? Do you want to do Disney, Universal, or both? Second consideration is pick that location, get that location nailed in. Third one is consider your booking options such as booking.com, Airbnb, or booking direct. 4 is factor in the resort fees and parking. Number 5 is it worth me hiring a car, which leads into point 4. Point 6 is consider that Disney Diamond plan, or if you're wanting to do Universal, do the Express Pass, then stay on site that offers Express in with your stay. Number 7 is factor in getting a Monzo or Revolut card or a card of that nature. The number 8 was obviously if you're considering doing multiple trips to Universal, consider the annual pass. And then the last point was about the credit card, Avios or Virgin Atlantic, get it done. Now, if you've liked what you've seen in this video, please like and subscribe. I'm a new creator, I'm trying to build my page, and I've got lots of videos coming your way. I'm currently almost halfway through my September-October trip in terms of I've vlogged the entire thing. Now, there will be a lot of tips in those vlogs as well. So if you've got a spare 30 minutes, feel free, enjoy the trip that we had. And it's full of tips, full of tricks. The odd occasional dodgy joke and stuff, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, please like and subscribe if you've seen what you are. And I am on Instagram as well under the tag STEELEINTHEPARKS, the same as this YouTube page. I post about 3 or 4 things a day on there, and just to keep you in that Disney and Universal bubble. So yeah, thanks for, if you are still watching, spending time with me in terms of these top tips. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I will try and reply to every single comment. As I was saying, everything in this video has just been my opinion of what I've found whilst going to Orlando. But I've been going to Orlando since the late 90s. I've been every decade. I've been 4 times in the last 2 years. I know what I'm talking about. Not to sound too arrogant, but I'm pretty clued up when it comes to the booking stage. So yeah, thanks for spending time with me, and have a good day.